As you can see here, we have opposite opinions of the game Overwatch. So on the left-hand side, it says, thinking about playing Overwatch is actually more fun than playing the game, and playing the game is often a terrible experience since the guy is staring at the wall and he looks sad. And on the other hand, we have someone who genuinely enjoys the game and enjoys thinking about playing it, and that's why both sides of the bus look happy. Now, so what I want to discern from this is not that just this is pretty funny and accurate. I actually do have some things to talk about. So why is it that thinking about playing a game can somehow be more exciting than playing the game itself? What's the science behind that, and how can that help inform you of what types of games are good for you to play or not? And then how do you genuinely enjoy the games that you play, even if they're known for competitiveness or toxicity? So let's get into it. Now, as it turns out, anticipation of a thing being more exciting than the actual thing itself is pretty common. And it's not limited to video games at all. When you think about an upcoming event, maybe a party, sports game, or a video game, your mind tends to idealize it. You imagine all the good parts, and this effect is stronger if you've had a good experience with that thing before. But only remembering the good parts of a past experience is actually a bias, and it's called the rosy retrospection bias, which evidently says that you see everything as roses and you forget that, maybe your game crashed or your teammates cursed at you the last time you played. You may even forget that last time after an hour or two you were burnt out from playing, and that doesn't fit your ideal image of the game. And of course, reality is never ideal. Things happen, things don't go your way. You may have imagined yourself winning a ton of rank games, getting to that next rank, but then when the time comes, it just doesn't go your way. And this is especially true for highly competitive games like Overwatch. The losses really seem to matter, and they can hurt really bad if you're not prepared to handle them. But scientifically, the reason this happens, to put it simply, is because of dopamine. So while dopamine is largely about pleasure and reward, it also plays a huge part in your anticipation and motivation. And the studies show that dopamine actually rises in anticipation of exciting events, which I'm sure everyone has felt. Like you plan an exciting outing for the evening and you're probably going to feel some dopamine building up before it. But that dopamine quickly drops off if the event didn't live up to its expectations, which can explain why your emotions fall flat despite being super excited about doing this thing. Dopamine surges in monkeys, for example, occurred right before eating a treat such as a banana, but it stagnated once they started eating. This also suggests that dopamine is big in anticipation and motivation, and it's not just for pleasure and reward. If you have seen a lot of gaming trailers, you know that they also try to exploit this. They're often way more exciting than the game itself, and they try not to show the actual gameplay because what they can show with visuals and videos is far more exciting than someone just playing the game. And that way they get your thought about playing the game to be much more exciting than what the game actually has to offer. Like I'm sure everyone has seen that trailer that has crazy fighting animations and pictures and videos, and then you just find out that the actual gameplay is a board game or something, and then you kind of just lose your interest in playing the game. So the good thing is that we can use this information to inform what types of games we should play. We obviously want games that will meet the expectations created by our minds. Not that they need to be perfect, but we don't want them to be severe disappointments. And that way gaming can remain an experience to lift your mood and promote your general well-being, as opposed to just being a disappointing and frustrating experience that just ruins your day. Now, as you may expect, story-rich games and multiplayer cooperative games tend to be the best for this. They are fun when you play them. They immerse you in story or in friendship, and they provide an overall good experience. Now, some fun cooperative games with friends includes Pico Park, Mario Party, Jackbox, these types of games. And as for story games, I think Baldur's Gate is a good choice, although I'll admit is a little expensive. On the cheaper side is Undertale, which I've never heard, I've never played, but I've only heard good things about it, and perhaps Binding of Isaac, which I know is a good experience. But if you truly do want to play those hyper competitive games because you just love the way the game is designed and love how it plays, you just don't like the feeling of losing, then you can definitely still play those games. Now this gets into the right hand side image from the beginning of the video. You can still play these games and enjoy them. And for me, the formula is to leave everything on the game. Be as competitive as you like, but don't get frustrated at the losses. Remember that it's just a game. It's not that deep. Getting too immersed into the competitive rank landscape always leads to frustration and bad times. I mean, without fail. And it's just simply because you're not meant to win every game. So if you're guaranteed to be losing at least a few games, then losing shouldn't even come as a surprise to you. And even if you lose every game, you shouldn't take it seriously. My friends and I played Overwatch once. After not playing for a while, we lost 11 games in a row. On game 12, we finally won. But you know how we felt during those 11 losses? We were laughing. We were laughing because we were so bad. To us, it's not about getting the highest rank, but enjoying the parts of the game that we like. For example, I like playing Winston. To me, it's fun. I don't care if I end up getting silver. I like playing Winston. And to be fair, when you don't care about losing, that doesn't even mean that you're going to start losing. In fact, you're probably more likely to win because you're less stressed, you tilt less, and you're a more positive force for your teammates. So to truly enjoy, these hyper competitive games, you just have to take a step back and realize it's just a game, and truly it is never that deep. So that way you can enjoy the parts of the game that you like. And you can be like the image on the right and not the one on the left. And if you experience burnout, just always remember to take a break, do something else. And yeah, as always, stay mindful, and I'll see you all in the next episode.